One coach who I've been excited to follow over the course of his career is Matt Campbell, now the head coach at Iowa State, where he's done a tremendous job. He has Iowa State in the top 25 here as we kick off the season this weekend. And, it's been exciting to watch these guys grow as a staff. Some of those guys are still with him from his days at Toledo. When I coached at Baldwin Wallace University, Toledo used to come to our campus and run a satellite camp, and you could see right there just the energy these guys had and that something special was going on. And this is a segment from the Iowa Football Coaches Association Clinic, which I moderated this past off season. And Coach Campbell's going to share 3 things that he believes allows his team to win. Then he's going to cover the values that really drive their culture. He's really figured this out. I think he has everything clear and concise in his program. He's able to communicate it from the top down, and everybody in his organization lives it. I think you're going to see a lot of these guys in the years to come, and certainly this season as Iowa State kicks it off this weekend. The entire talk is available on CoachTube. The link is in the show notes. Here's Coach Campbell, head coach, Iowa State.
And then I would say the last thing before we started the season, was identifying how do we win? And I think this can change from year to year. What is it going to take for our football team once we watch fall camp, once we finally got through fall practice? What were the value systems that were going to allow Iowa State football to actually win games? And for us, I think we really boiled it down to these 3 areas. Number 1 is ISU can't beat ISU. And, I think when you look at our football team and you studied us over the last couple of years, how do we put ourselves in position to not beat ourselves? I think that's really challenging in the sport of football. I think when you look at the collegiate level, you look at the high school level, it's the teams that have the ability to dissect this, understand how do you not beat yourself? How do you take care of the football? How do you do a great job in critical moments? How do you do a great job of making sure your best players put yourself in your position to win games? All those things I think come into don't let Iowa State beat Iowa State. I felt number 2, complementary football. I think one of the things that's really important for me and probably my favorite piece of football is how does your offense, your defense, and your special teams units complement each other within a game? And I think one of the things that's really challenging, and I think one of the things that we're really blessed to have is a coaching staff that really has no ego. If it's a game that we get in and it's got to be won with a high scoring affair, then maybe that's what we have to do. If it's a game that's got to be won with a low scoring affair, then that's what we got to do. If it's a game that we have to win with pressure of special teams, then that's what we have to do. And so I think one of the unique things, and this is where I think continuity of staff, I think communication and alignment is really critical for you as a head football coach, is to each game is different, and sometimes what you think a game looks like as you get into it may change. And the opportunity, the ability to communicate, the ability to have conversation, the ability to make sure that it's aligned the right way, really I think falls on you as the head football coach. But I think one of the things that we found here is if we are going to have success, if we are going to win football games, we have to do a great job in all 3 areas, complementing each other. And then I think last but not least, and I really think we're living in a time in a society where this is really big, is really our ability to find our courage. I think I very few times as I reflected on our past football games and our past seasons that I find that our guys, if we made tough mistakes, if we made critical mistakes, that it wasn't because that our guys didn't care. It was because sometimes I think the fear of failing, they wanted to be so successful, so bad that they didn't want to make the mistake, that I think we were getting to a point where how do we do a great job of allowing our players to find their courage? To put courage in the front seat, to put fear in the back seat, and to go in and play the game with great sense of courage. And, I think, again, that's where it comes back to me is the simplicity of what we do, the simplicity of how we do things, the ability to set a standard for how we train and what the expectations are of the habits that we develop, because we know that those are things that allow us to have a lot of confidence when we get into a football game. And when things don't go well, it also has us the ability to have great touch point, great communicative points to allow our guys to get their courage back, to not flinch within the game, and to keep pressing forward. And so, these were three things that we really set out in September, once our season started, and said, here's our three goals for this team. Okay, here's how we're going to win. We can't beat ourselves. Got to play great complementary football. And man, we got to do a great job of providing game plans and opportunities for you guys that allow your courage within a football game to continue and not allow fear to creep in that paralyzes you within a football game. And so for us, that was kind of our mantra of how do we win. And I, again, so much credit to our coaches, so much credit to our players, so much credit to the leadership of our team, taking great ownership in those three great core values for who we became and where we are. And I think, even the last football game, I think you look at the Fiesta Bowl and you look at Iowa State can't beat Iowa State. We did a great job taking care of the football. Okay. Number two, complementary football. You're talking about a team that, took care of the football, ran the ball 55 times in the game, knowing that, man, great offensive team, great team that's got the ability to really put pressure on your defense and do a great job of complementing each other. Okay. And then last but not least is the ability to find courage. I think you look at that game early on and it's back and forth, some good things happening for us, some really good things happen for them, and the courage to just stay the course. I almost felt like it was, the crown jewel for last year's 2020 team of saying, we're going to abide exactly by what those things stand for and what these values stand for. And I thought our kids did a great job. And, I think to really, for me, to wrap things up, I would just tell you, this is what we unfolded day one here at Iowa State. And I think one of the things that I'm really proud of, one of the things that I think when you look at this, we can put great explanation to, and we haven't drifted. And even though quarantine gave us the ability to reflect who we are and where we want to be, I think it gave me an opportunity to really sink back in to say, this is what we are about. Now, are we living to these values? Is this really what we've been teaching? And are we really staying on course to what we want to become? And again, the mission statement for our program hasn't changed. It's an attitude and effort and precision-based program. And it's that fosters player-driven ownership to build the most caring, the most inspired and unified football team in college football. And I think one of the things that we've tried to do is any standard that we set, anything that we've tried to do within our organization has been filtered right around that mission statement. And then I think the last piece of it has been more for our players, but also for our coaches, is as we were able to fill in and consistently live each block. And I think, the first three blocks, really, it doesn't take a lot of talent to do, right? These are all things these are actions that really allow your young people to really live by: attitude, loyalty, character, humility, prideful work ethic. I feel like as we begin to consistently fill those areas in, then we've been able to handle the next challenges: accountability, focus, faith, perseverance. I think those things have filled in. And then you got yourself to the point of consistency, perfect your craft, and player ownership. And I think last year you saw those three now fill in. And now you get yourself into some of these areas that, where true football programs, in my opinion, are built. True football programs have the ability to handle adversity. True football programs have a sense of family. And then obviously true programs have the sense of the ability to create a legacy. And what I would tell you as I finish up here is really what I thanked each and every one of you as we went into this is, in this state, for us in this football program here at Iowa State, it's continued growth. We still have so much work to be done. We still have so many blocks to continue to fill in with great consistency to live by, to stand by. But I know this, without the support of the Iowa high school football coaches, without the support of the high school coaches in our surrounding areas, to believe in our ability to say, you know what, these are men that are going to do a great job developing the whole player, not just the football player. Thank you, because I know we wouldn't be where we're at. I know that there's great challenges ahead, but I also know this. I know we're going to continue to live by what these core values look like, what these building blocks look like. And I know if we continue to focus on those things, then the ability to handle adversity, the ability to continue to strengthen our family, and the ability for us to continue to create a legacy here that allows our young people to grow in each and every facet of their life. It's really important to me. It's really important to our coaching staff. So again, I can't wait till the opportunity to see everybody again face to face. We really appreciate the support. We really appreciate your belief in our football program. I can't thank you all enough. Have a great weekend. Go Cyclones.
There's some insight into the philosophy and ideas that really make the Iowa State football program go. I think there's some takeaways for you that you can talk about and share with your team throughout this season and get you through some of those tough times that you're going to face. The entire talk is available on CoachTube. The link is in the show notes. Follow all we're doing this season at coachingcoordinator.com and follow me on Twitter at Coach K. Grabowski.